That's a good ball for Pittodrie. Now Aberdeen with McGee making the break and Hewitt waiting in the middle. Hewitt!
Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you and supported by Sol Tyre Energy, the global market leader in specialist drilling equipment rental. And this week, if you were in the ADIPEC conference in Abu Dhabi and you went along to see the guys at Craig International, they would like to send their best wishes and their many thanks to everybody that went along. Tomorrow, the Dons are back at Pittodrie. It's another sellout. It's the fourth sellout in a row. And we welcome Tony Docherty's Dundee to Pittodrie. Don't remember, it's a slightly later kick-off tomorrow, 5:30, with an opportunity, don't forget, to go top of the table, because Celtic don't play until Sunday. So a huge incentive for the boys to get back to winning ways and to bounce back after last week's disappointment in the Premier Sports Scottish League Cup. Hi everybody, how are you doing? A very good evening to Ali Beg ABTV this Friday night. How has your week been? I hope it got an awful lot better after the semi-final last weekend. I think it's safe to say that what I've been suitably impressed with throughout the whole week is how everybody is still very optimistic, everybody is still very positive, and everyone has just put this down to one of those games where they just were too good for us, we put it to bed, we forget about it, and we move on, because of course, there is a bigger picture. This is the preview show, Countdown to Kickoff, and this is an opportunity for you guys, as always, to get in touch and tell me how you're feeling ahead of the game tomorrow. I've got the usual bits and pieces for you tonight, so we'll predict the team news in just a moment. I've tinkered with the team, got a couple of quotes from the gaffer, and got the match stats and all that kind of stuff for you. But there is really only one place to start tonight's show, and that is with what is the fantastic news and the well-deserved news that we have a manager of the month and a player of the month in Jimmy Talene and Nicky Devlin. And I'm sure that everybody will agree that these guys thoroughly deserve their recent accolade. Absolutely delighted for Nicky Devlin. The manager spoke about him in his press conference today, just saying what a fantastic guy he is. And it just goes to show, it doesn't matter how old you are, that experience counts for everything. What has made me laugh since the announcement are fans of a certain football club jumping on board and saying, hang on, what about our manager? So this is what makes me laugh. So I mean this respectfully. Don't forget that this award is given from league performances only. It's got nothing to do with the domestic cup competitions. It's based purely on league form. And if you look at our league form, and if you look at the teams who we have been able to beat in the past month, you will see why Jimmy is very deserving of this award. Second award that he's won already. Absolutely made up for the guy. Right. I'm going to predict the team news. Bear with me. I've made a couple of changes because I felt last week we were a little bit leggy as well. So what I am going to do is I'm going to stick with the same back four. I know we shipped 6 goals. I get it. I know there's a big shout for possibly Angus to come in, but I'm going to stick with the same back four. I'm also going to stick with Nielsen and the skipper. I was torn about whether to chuck in Ante. What I have done is I've dropped Duke and I've dropped Jamie McGrath, for Shaden Morris, and for Leighton Clarkson. Toppy to keep his place. And because Kevin is now fit and back in the squad, I think he might start tomorrow's game in front of Esther Sokler. So that's the team that I'm predicting for tomorrow. It's not the team that necessarily will start, but it's the team I'm kind of hoping will. So let me know what you think. So there is something that I do want to address, just very quickly. If you are a fan of another club, you are more than welcome to be here. To be honest with you, I'm delighted that you're here. All that I ask of you is that if you want to join in with the chat, that you please stay respectful of those who interact with me and their fellow fans on a regular basis on this channel. It's very important to me that respect is shown amongst all football fans. We want to make this place a safe haven. So if you do want to come on and you do want to have your say, I welcome it. Absolutely I do. But please, just be respectful. Don't use bad language. Don't be a bully. And if you step over the mark, it's very simple. I'll get rid of you immediately. You just won't be welcomed back. So, as I said, I just want you to be respectful. That's the only thing that I ask. Because last week we had a couple of numpties join us who, how can I put it? They put some noses out of joint. Let me put it that way. And I wasn't very happy with it. And they disrespected my wishes to be respectful. So I got rid of them during the week as well. So that's the only thing that I would ask of you. So what about Jimmy? What's he been saying? Because obviously what's really important this week is the reaction and how we bounce back from last week. So he was very quick to point this out in his press conference today. In regards to last week, he said, of course, you have to take learning points and analyse the game, but you have to move on. It's a new game around the corner, and you have to put the focus on the right things. That's the only way to be better, is how you improve from these games. He went on to say, from the game at Hampden, we have learnt some bigger things and some smaller things. We prepared the players. They have been in good spirits in the sessions this week, a lot of energy, and everybody is looking forward to the game tomorrow. So he was very upbeat. If you've seen the club media channels throughout the week, the atmosphere looks great. There's a couple of cracking pictures, particularly the group picture of Nicky right at the front with his little award. I love that photograph. And everybody seems to be in really good spirits. So it is up to the players. You know, it's a full house again, which I just think is absolutely phenomenal. And if we can get right behind the boys, which I have no doubt we absolutely will. And again, just help them along and just let them know that despite what happened last week, we all know it's just a one-off. And we'll get right behind them and hopefully we'll help them get over the line and get top spot again for at least 24 hours. So it's all about the reaction. So let's get you guys on. Let's see how we all are tonight. I'll bring you the match stats and that in a bit. In fact, while I'm doing that, just before I get you guys on, I'll just quickly clear the old timeline just to make room for the last two items that I want to put in. There's the first one. And that'll be the last one that goes in. There we go. So, right, let me get the live show on. There we are. Clickety click, clickety click. Okay, let me pause that and then I'll drag that down. Oh, I see. There's a lot of you on tonight. Fabulous. Okay. Gordon Keith Ritchie came on first. How we doing, Gordon? He says, good evening. Tomorrow, we put last week's result behind us and go on another run and get points on the board and prove we have improved. Jerry Kennedy says, quite simply, onwards and upwards. Richie Mickey McMillan says, great, back on the ball. Come on, you Reds, let's do this. Graham Barron says, fit like Ali and fellow dandies, let's get back to winning ways tomorrow. He's predicting a 3-0 win. Jerry Kennedy can't make it tomorrow. He's got a cold. Get well soon, my boy. Gavin Wilson said, good evening, people. Enough time has passed now. It's our next league game against Dundee. Full house, live on TV and Red TV. Jimmy, manager of the month. Nicky, player of the month. That's all he has to say. The Music Cat says, I think Yimmy will freshen things up a bit. Might consider Angus back in defence and Leighton in midfield in place of Malloy and Jamie. Jerry Kennedy is asking, is Dante due back this week? So he's back in training. This game's come around a little bit too early for him, but I expect that he'll be knocking on the door after the international break. Don't forget, because it's really annoying international break after this game as well. Bob Duff makes an interesting point. I didn't know that, Bob. Thanks for confirming this. He says, it looks like McGrath is out because he didn't train this week. There we go. Kaiser's on. How are we doing, Kaiser? He's asking, have we got last week out of our system? Absolutely we do. John Helmsley's on. Hi, John. How are you? He says, I anticipate a 3-1 or a 4-1 win against Dundee tomorrow. Don't know why I think that, but I just do. Graham says, actually, in reply to Kaiser, he says, not quite, still smarting. Bob Duff came back to say, I'd be playing Leighton instead of Jamie anyway, and Duke and Toppy out, Vinny and Shady Mo in. Neil Simpson is here saying, hi Ali and fellow dandies, league business now this weekend. The good thing is the gaffer and players, we've had a full week to think and get the semi-final out of our system. Full house tomorrow, he's predicting 4-1. Bob thinks Ante will come in for Nielsen tomorrow. Yeah, like I said, Bob, at the top, I kind of toyed with whether he would come in for either Shinza or Nielsen. Crazy Vese, I think it is, or Crazy Vase. However, great to have you. Thanks for coming on. He says, aye, dandies. Graham Gibbs says, interesting point actually. How come every game just now is a must win? Is this what you call pressure? Neil's on saying hello. John Grant is also on, wishing everyone a good night. He says, I wonder if Jimmy will freshen up the lineup. Maybe Ante, Morris, Clarkson will come in for Nielsen, McGrath and Toppy. Who knows? But won't come up against anything like Celtic just now. Kirstein's on. Hi Kirstein, how you doing? She says, let's hope we get back to winning ways at home tomorrow and forget about last week's bump in the road. Kaiser says Aberdeen will win tomorrow, we'll go 3 points clear, and then Celtic have to go to Rugby Park, where, as we know, it won't be easy. Gavin Wilson said, looks like 1903 hours, Ali. It is, thanks to Kaiser, who came up with that genius of an idea to go on air at 1903. I love it. So John Kylo is asking, what's the problem with Kevin Nisbet at the moment? Has he been a naughty boy? No, fella, he's been injured. That's why. He's just simply been injured. But he's back to full fitness, back to full training, hence why I think he'll start tomorrow. David Gold is on, wishing everyone a good evening. Luminous Reality has said, any idea if Dante Palvara is close to making a return? Think he could give us something different. Also think Yumi will make him even better. So as I've just said, he's back in training. Tomorrow's game will come round too quickly, but expect movement after the international break. Graham Gibb, again, interesting point. He says, win tomorrow is crucial with a hard run of 3 away fixtures waiting for us after the international break. Gavin Wilson's asking, any news on Papa Gay? Nothing at the moment, but he's out for a while, that's all we know. They've actually not updated us on him for a wee while, so... Kaiser said that the Sevco podcast comes on at 2012. Very good, Kaiser, very good. Paul Donaldson says, "Hi Ali, I think tomorrow is now our biggest match of the season so far because it'll show whether or not we can bounce back from the awful defeat last weekend. I think Yemi will make a few changes." 2012. Oh, genius. Graham Klein says, "Get the biggest stadium on order, Dave. Hopefully the new 15,000 capacity stadium is thrown away now for good." A lot of you are chuckling at Kaiser's post. Leighton says, "Quite simply, let's get back to winning ways." Erica is on saying, "Hello, looking forward to the game tomorrow. Another sellout, hopefully a good game. Come on, you Reds." David Horn says, "Tomorrow we go again. Can't wait." Stuart Cleary says, "Evening Ali, loving the 1903 start. It was a great shout out by one of your other followers the other night. Honestly, when he posted it, what night was it now? Was it Monday, last Monday? Honestly, I cycled home on my bike, just chuckling all the way home like that. It's just genius starting the show at 1903. Graham Klein says, "New signings in January incoming." Yeah, let's see. Alexander Wallace says, "We've been officially cursed with the Manager of the Month award. Let's hope we don't fall into the trap." Well, let's not forget that this is the second award that he's won. And there was certainly no curse after he won the first one. So, Mark Smith says, "No panic. Celtic in a different league territory. Their budget compared to ours. Let's just relax and return to our normal routine. 2 Old Firm matches in 3 days is difficult." Gav Taylor's predicting a 3-1 win for the Dons. David Gold also says we need to freshen up the starting 11. As is Doug Smith. He also says we need to freshen things a few up. David Horn is just reminding you all to hit the old like button if you're enjoying the show so far. We'll come on to that a wee bit later. Sandra McPherson says, "Good evening, everyone. Great news about Tulleen and Devlin Awards. Can't wait till tomorrow, even if I am in the red shed, as per grandkids' request. Wish me luck." Stuart Cleary is predicting a 2-1 win for the Dons tomorrow. Kilted Warrior is on wishing everyone a good evening. Graham Gibb, in response to Sandra, has said, "Good luck. Was next to the Ultras and their drum in Perth. Can still hear that blinking drum." Andrew Budge is on. How we doing, Andrew? I'll come to you in just a moment, fella. "I wouldn't be changing up the back line. Important that Malloy and Rubicic continue to build a partnership. Welcome some changes in the forward line and in midfield, though. Like the look of your team." So So Andrew and I have been talking this week. I'll tell you a wee bit more in just a moment. Kaiser says, "I think we've got to start Palaversa on a regular basis. Just bits and pieces of games here and there is no use," he says. Yeah. Graham Gibbs says, "Last Saturday, in a team of players who looked tired, I thought Nielsen and McGrath looked more tired than the others." Right, I just want to bring you the match stats. So, Aberdeen are unbeaten in 15 home league games against Dundee, winning 10, drawing 5. Dundee have only had 2 wins in their last 29 league games against Aberdeen, losing 19, drawing 8. Aberdeen have scored 20 goals from 123 shots in the Scottish Premiership this season, with a conversion rate of 16.3%, which is the highest of any side so far this season. The referee tomorrow is David Dickinson, and on VAR is Alan Muir. If you're heading to Pittodrie tomorrow, don't forget to pick up Red Match Day, superbly edited by Malcolm Panton. That's the front cover, designed by Dolly Digital. I love these old photographs of the stadium, you know that. And look at the dugout. Honestly, I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. Another beautiful cover from Dolly Digital, who continues to just do fantastic work for the football club and the programme in particular. Right. Oh, what was that I saw? Ah, that's an interesting point, Kirstine says. I didn't know this. Kirstine, I'm going to say allegedly, okay? Just to play safe, that Jamie is getting surgery, as far as she knows, to get rid of the lump on his head from the county game. Okay. David Inkster's just come on to say that he's got a spare ticket for sale at cost price in the South Stand, V Row G, if anybody is looking. So, if you want to go to the game tomorrow, just drop a quick comment here to Dave, reply to Dave's. If not, come to me and I'll try and get back in touch with Dave direct. Thanks, Dave, for posting that. Very kind of you, mate. Roy Thompson says, still so much to come from Nisbet, Sockler, Toppy and Duke, among others. Confident we can get back to business as usual tomorrow. DM's asking if I'm doing a watch-along show. No, mate, I'm not. Because the reason that I'm not is because it's live on the telly. The idea sort of going forward is any games that are not going to be live, I will consider doing watch-along shows, particularly in midweek. But as the game is live, and because it's also available on pay-per-view as well, there's no point me doing one of those, mate. But thanks for asking. Mark Smith says, Ali, I've been really impressed by your comeback from illness. Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate that. Still got a long way to go, mate. I'm still fighting it. But most definitely getting there, mate. He says, Talene has managed Duke's return is a joy to behold. I agree there. Ah, yeah, Sugarland. Good point. He says, remember this is a 10 in a row for home league wins. Has that been done before? Right. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I know that we were looking to equal a record that was set under Derek McInnes. I think was that 8 or 9 in a row? I can't remember off the top of my head. 10 in a row. Good point, Sugarland. If anybody knows, give us a wee shout. Bob Dove says, Ante has to start. Nielsen's looking leggy. He's been playing since March. Xander Moore's here saying, good evening, Ali. Hoping all is well. Hoping for a good bounce back from last week and hoping that everybody is well. Paul Donaldson said, there's been some disruption on the Aberdeen to Dundee rail line the past couple of days. Not sure it'll be all clear by tomorrow, but worth checking before you leave if taking the train from south up north. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for posting that, mate. Bruce Struthers agrees about Palaversa. He looks class and should be starting more often. Tutty Tree and Turd, brilliant mate. He says he's flying into Aberdeen with my son from Dublin on Saturday morning. Can't wait. Have a fantastic trip, mate, and a safe trip as well. And I hope you have a brilliant time. So Andrew's asking me what I think about the Jack McKenzie contract situation. So this is where I'm at with Jack. I think he has been one of our most improved players. I think since the Scottish League Cup semi-final last season where we got sent off stupidly, I think he's bounced back from that setback quite remarkably. I was unsure about him, I have to be honest. But since then, he's a completely different player, a fantastic player. And he's thoroughly deserved his call-ups to the Scotland squads. And I would actually go as far as saying that I think he is our most improved player in recent times. Absolutely fantastic. What I don't want to happen to him, which has happened to so many before, is that just because he has a good 6, 7, 8, 9 months, that all of a sudden agents and influential people thinks, well, just because he's now playing to this standard, that he now deserves a move to a bigger club, a better club, and earn more money. if I was in Jack's situation and if I was advising him at the moment, I would say, fella, stick around. To play regular football and to continue learning your trade at his age, with what potentially could be a fantastic season, why would you want to go anywhere else? What I always think about young players is just naturally and organically let your stock rise. What's the rush? I always understand the financial pool. I get that. Of course I get that. But if your stock continues to rise, the trappings of that will fall into place anyway. So I think for Jack, I would get the rest of this season under your belt and maybe one or two more. And then who knows what sort of position you could be in. By that point, you could be a Scotland regular. You could be playing in a winning team. You could be playing in one of the most dramatically improved Aberdeen teams of recent times. So what I would do is, if I was advising him, I would say just chill, relax, enjoy your football first and foremost, and we'll let everything take care of itself organically. So that's what I would say. Right, guys, we've done just over 25 minutes. So I'm going to call it a night. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm really sorry if I didn't get all your comments on. I will get this one on very quickly. He says, Jake something came on. He says, thank you for this wonderful show. Love from Zimbabwe. How cool is that? Jake, magic mate. Delighted that you're watching. So, guys, thank you so much. There is, of course, one last little thing that I need you to do before I bid you a fond farewell. Please press like. It just helps with the algorithm, all that kind of stuff. The subscription level is, at the moment, it is phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. In the past 28 days alone, we've added over 200 subscribers. If you're enjoying the show, jump on board. You know, we've got big plans. After the international break, we're going to be doing a more analytical segment on the show, on the review show. And I'm delighted that Andrew Budge and I had a chat over the past couple of days. And I'm not sure if you saw Andrew's post on socials after the Celtic game where he broke down our tactics against Celtic. It was a fantastic post, very insightful, very interesting. And I'm delighted that he's going to come on board and he's going to be offering us his little segment on the show. So we're going to delve a little bit deeper into the analysis of games in the review show. Can't wait to bring you that. And this is where the channel just continues to evolve and just continues what I hope you will see is improving. And a lot of that is also down to you guys jumping on board the membership scheme as well. So all that's left to say, as always, at this juncture, is the very best of luck to the lads tomorrow. All you have to do is bounce back. Show us how tough you are. I'll see you on Sunday for the review show. Don't have my kids this weekend, so I'll see you on Sunday for the review. Take care. Stand free.